please welcome to the stage Epic's Vice President of Unreal Engine, Nathan Thomas.
Welcome to Unreal Fest 2022 in New Orleans. Thank you so much for coming down to join us here. I'm Nathan Thomas, Vice President of Unreal Engine for Epic Games, and this conference is really for you, all of the incredible creators and visionaries and passionate users of Unreal Engine. Thank you for making the journey to be with us today. This is by far the largest Unreal Fest we've ever had, and there's an incredible diversity of attendees represented here. It's really the first time we've had this number of industries here, so there's a lot of very different perspectives in the room with us. 50% of you, more or less, are from the games industry. Not that surprising, given that more than 50% of next-generation console titles are being built on Unreal Engine today. 15% are from the media and entertainment space. Again, not that surprising, given that more than 300 volumes are out there doing virtual production with Unreal Engine today. But there's lots of other folks here. Tools, production, architecture, manufacturing, simulation, education, and many others. A wide range of perspectives and ideas. There's over 50 CEOs and dozens of CTOs along with us in the room, tech directors and leaders across art, design, and production. That's a real opportunity for cross-pollination, for you to have a lot of collaborative conversations and connections with each other, which we really encourage in the hallways, getting coffee, or maybe over a drink, which I'm sure you're going to find here in New Orleans. The sessions are one way we're going to try and make that happen. So we're going to have a lot of the folks in this room presenting and communicating with you about what they're doing with Engine, but so are all of your peers and the other folks, and those conversations really matter. So talk, collaborate, ideate, and invent. The market for interactive, real-time 3D is being defined now, and this room is the group of people who will do that. We can all feel it coming. We know there's a little bit of fog around what it's going to be and the exact nature of it, and some of those early experiences have been a little bit cringy, but they are going to get better, and Unreal Engine is the tool that's going to help them get better, and this group of people is who is going to make those new experiences. There is not another population of people outside of this room more capable, more engaged, and more ready to go do that. You can define the future for gamers, for passengers in cars, for students, for architects, and we know how amazing the results of your work can be because we've seen it. Take a look, for example, at Rivian's R1T truck. This is a new electric vehicle that's taking the world by storm, and they've used Unreal Engine for all of the screens inside of the truck. We think that's incredible vision to decide to bring game tech inside of a car so that the passenger and driver experience interacting with the vehicle and with entertainment in the car can be richer, higher fidelity, and more responsive. And other auto manufacturers are really taking note. This unlocks huge future opportunities, I'm sure everyone can see. There's a wide range of new experiences that can be had inside of a vehicle because of this technology. Or how about visual artist Drago's recreation of Toyoma train station? I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. It really went viral over the last few months. It's just almost indistinguishable from reality. It's pretty incredible. What's really great here is this is a small, independent team. This is really not a giant AAA studio. This is somebody able to do this on their own. And we think this is what users are going to expect in the future. They really want high-quality visual experiences, not janky environments. And those visuals, whether they're stylized or photorealistic, need to be incredible. Physics that are believable and entertaining, animation and rigging that's incredible, and of course, lighting and cameras that are really believable. I think it went viral because it is so mind-blowing. And again, so nice to see somebody who's not just a AAA do this. Really incredible to see the independents be able to do that quality of work. And of course, what about Stray? I'm sure a lot of you have played Stray already. It's a very successful game already. It's a fascinating adventure where you explore the world as a cat. And Qixel was one of the co-founders of Blue 12 Studio, received a mega grant from Epic actually back in 2015, and was doing work at the time on architectural visualization. And an incredibly involved participant in the community and forums for Unreal Engine around that. Really helped launch a lot of the early ArchViz experiences inside of Unreal Engine. He and Liv then built this game, and Annapurna Interactive took note and got involved with it, and they launched and have seen great success, which we're super excited about. What we really love here, though, is it's this idea of taking technology like Unreal Engine and building an emotional, engaged, connected experience. Again, we really think that's what users want to see. Now, of course, to build the future of 3D real-time interactive experiences, you're going to need a lot more than just Unreal Engine. So Epic provides an ecosystem of tools, content, and services that are going to be part of that journey for you. For example, MetaHuman, that lets you have photorealistic characters inside of your own experiences. This used to be the domain of only the most lavishly funded projects, but now you can pull that into any experience. Similarly, Qixel, in the content side, gives you the opportunity to use assets that are at very high quality rates and import them into your projects to get going quickly. And of course, the developer community, which was recently relaunched, is seeing incredible traction, great community of users, many of you, I'm sure, in this room who are engaged in that, and a great place to go get tutorials, thousands of tutorials, and great community help to help get going on your journey with Unreal Engine. Of course, Epic is very committed to open and interoperable standards, and so we partner with a wide range of additional companies, partners, tools companies, so you can go and build with the set of tools that you want to build for your own creative experiences as well. We are building Unreal Engine for you. We are committed to making it the best tool for creating incredible real-time 3D experiences. Now it's up to you to determine what is engaging, what is fair, what is revolutionary. We've given you the engine, and we cannot wait to see where you take it next. Over the next hour, we're going to hear from some people who are working on how we build that future together. Nick Penwarden will be up in a moment to talk about UE5 and the tools that you're going to need for that journey. Sarah Bond from Xbox is going to talk a little bit about leadership principles for how we build for the future. Adam Boyes, the co-CEO of Iron Galaxy, is going to talk about how to build a sustainable development and studio culture. And then Dana Cowley will give us a quick update with some of the conference highlights you can expect over the next few days. Thanks, everyone. I'll be back before we officially open the show.
Please welcome Epic's Vice President of Engineering, Nick Penwarden.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you. Earlier this year, we launched Unreal Engine 5 to the world with the vision of empowering developers of all sizes to build large, open worlds at an unprecedented level of detail and fidelity. Nanite enables developers to import film-quality assets and to build rich, highly detailed worlds without worrying about polygon and draw call budgets. Lumen delivers high-quality, fully dynamic global illumination and reflections, lighting the world in a natural and realistic way without having to pre-compute lighting, so both lights and objects are able to move and change in real time. World Partition gives developers the power to build and collaborate on a single massive level and let the engine figure out how to break up and stream content at runtime. Put together, these technologies enable new gameplay possibilities and new ways of telling stories that rely on fully dynamic environments at a level of visual quality not previously possible. Since launch, we've been hard at work on Unreal Engine 5.1. For this first major update to UE5, we've been focused on fit and finish. Optimizations targeted towards 60 FPS console games, improving UX and workflows across the board, extending support for key features to industries outside of games, and of course, lots of exciting new features that we're ready for you to try out and provide feedback. On the performance front, Lumen has a number of enhancements that increase quality while staying within the performance budgets for a 60 FPS console game. Temporal super resolution has also been optimized for 60 FPS on console while reducing ghosting artifacts on translucency, and we've improved the performance of scene queries and rigid body simulation in chaos physics, speeding up some of our worst-case scenarios by up to 50%. We're actively working on improvements for foliage rendering. Nanite now supports two-sided materials, alpha mask, and world position offset, while Lumen gains support for the two-sided foliage shading model. Of course, we have a lot more work to do, especially on performance, but the visual gains speak for themselves. The World Partition system has a number of UX improvements for working with data layers, Our hierarchical level of detail tools now support water, and we've improved support for large world coordinates, allowing us to greatly increase the maximum size of worlds that can be built in Unreal Engine. On mobile, our deferred rendering mode, optimized for tile-based GPUs, is now production ready, adding support for screen space ambient occlusion, distance field shadows, and spotlight shadows, visualized here with a bit of programmer art for testing. Outside of games, our path tracer now supports multiple GPUs and additional engine features such as atmospheric scattering, decals, and light functions. And Lumen supports multiple viewports so that it can work with multiple displays, for example, on LED walls for in-camera VFX. We also have several exciting new features ready for preview that we'll be continuing to develop in future releases. For example, there's the machine learning deformer framework, which enables you to train complex vertex deformation models and apply them efficiently to skeletal meshes in real time, providing much higher quality deformation than previously possible in real time. Visualized here on Rampage, one of the characters from Paragon. With motion matching, you can quickly set up high-quality, responsive character locomotion systems, drawing from a database of character animation without the need for complex state machine logic. And we have Strata, a new experimental framework for authoring materials, which removes the restrictions of hard-coded shading models, giving artists the freedom to support a wider range of material types, such as iridescence and rough refractions. Strata also supports complex layering, so for example, you can easily represent car paint consisting of a base paint layer, metallic flakes, and clear coat. And there's Iris, a new experimental network replication system, which is designed to scale efficiently to online games with large worlds and large numbers of players, reducing CPU load on dedicated servers. Unreal Engine 5.1 preview builds are available for testing now, and we plan to release the final build in November. The full list of improvements and new features is available on our public roadmap, which you can access via this QR code. And of course, the full Unreal Engine source code is available on GitHub, both for 5.1 and the latest work happening in our main development branch. In fact, all of the new features and bug fixes that we work on are available within minutes of us checking in. That may sound scary for an engine developer, but it's actually really exciting to be able to be so transparent and open and share our work so early on as we develop it. Over the years, some of you have even lived on the bleeding edge, checking out new work long before it's ready. Seeing the results that you achieve and that you share on our forums, it really inspires us to keep pushing boundaries. Having our source on GitHub also empowers developers to fix bugs and make improvements to Unreal Engine and share them with the community. While we aren't able to take all of those changes back, we do have over 300 pull requests submitted from the community that made it into 5.1. We truly appreciate all of the time and effort that you put in to helping us making Unreal Engine better for everyone. We also work closely with several partners using Unreal Engine. Take Microsoft as an example. For many years, we've worked with their Xbox Advanced Technology Group and first-party studios such as the Coalition, who were early adopters of Unreal Engine 5, testing new features as we were developing them in our main development branch, collaborating on the development of motion matching, and helping us optimize the engine for the Matrix Awakens experience on Xbox Series S. With that, I'll hand it over to a very special guest, Sarah Bond, who can share a bit more about how we are working with Xbox to build a brighter future for the industry. Thank you.
Please welcome Xbox Corporate Vice President, Sarah Bond.
Hi, everyone. It is so awesome to be here today and to see all of you, especially because it's been 3 years since the last time we had an Unreal Fest in person. And the energy, just the excitement, I love getting to connect. It's especially meaningful as well because I feel like gaming is really at a turning point in so many ways. You know, after 2 years of all of us living and working in isolation, I think we've all changed a lot. And there's a lot that we're all also trying to figure out. How we attend events, how we define social spaces, and how we connect with people. And I feel like as gamers, we know really well what it means to flex between the digital and physical world, but many others don't. And all of us together are really thrust into trying to figure out how we merge those two spaces together. And with that, I think, gives us all collectively an opportunity to influence how that happens and the way it turns out for people that really helps shape the future of our society at large. At Xbox, you know, we often say that we're on a mission to bring the joy and community of gaming to everyone on the planet. We talk about how that means we want people to be able to play any game they want, anywhere they want, with anyone they want. And with the advent of crossplay and with cloud-native gaming starting to emerge as a real alternative, the technical things that needed to change are starting to come to fruition. We're taking down the technical barriers. But Unreal Engine as well has a huge role to play because it enables, just as we just heard, for unbelievable creativity to be unleashed in ways that it couldn't before. You know, a couple examples from our own studios, and this is one of my favorite, is what we're doing with Hellblade 2. The fidelity of the world that Ninja Theory is creating is stunning, and the photorealism is just riveting. Let's take a look.
You may see them as gods, but we will show you what lies behind their eyes.
Wait. Listen. It's coming. He's here. That's my name. He can smell your fear. Cixel. It knows our name. How does it know our name?
To risk your own life for what you believe is your sacrifice to make. To lead others to death brings a different kind of burden. One that Senua would have to learn to bear.
Smell their fear. He's here. Death is coming. Look at the bones. Death is coming. Look at the bones. That's going to be you. That's going to be everyone. No one's ever killed a giant before. What makes you think you can stay down?
I always get chills when I see that moment, especially. It's good. The power of the Unreal Engine can also be seen in stylized games like Grounded, built by Obsidian Entertainment. It launched on September 27th. Anyone played it yet? Anyone out there played it? It's awesome. And it's a great game. You can be running in the backyard, you get to fight the broodmother in her cave, but the lighting and the environments are just so incredibly immersive. So I couldn't help but show a video of that too.
Don't look down! Don't look down! This is moderately terrifying!
Unreal Engine truly is, don't mess with mothers, that's the lesson there. Unreal Engine truly is state of the art. You know, whether or not it's Gears 5, Lies of P, Arc 2, Fortnite, it's just incredible the things that can come about using Unreal. There's one thing that is amazing about games is that the interactivity means that you can really feel emotion. Like you can have a real emotion in an unreal world. And the combination of that is truly magical. And when things look and feel this real and stunning, it means as world builders, we are harnessing an incredible amount of power. And with 3 billion people in the world playing games, the impact of that is truly amplified. If we're thoughtful, we can create experiences that expose people to new ideas, that break down barriers. But if we don't take care, that same power can be flipped the other way. We can accidentally exclude people. We can create toxicity or perpetuate a stereotype or a negative perception. And that's what I want to talk to you about, is how we work together to create beautiful, immersive worlds that are safe, inclusive, and sustainable. I'm going to start with safety. We all know the power of play. Like, in many ways, we're all born to play. If you think back to your earliest memories as a child, how we learn, how we form bonds, how we discover the world and test boundaries. And feeling safe when we do that allows us to immerse ourselves in it and get the most from the experience. And so creating places where everyone can play without fear and intimidation is so integral to building successful games and experiences. What's incredible about gaming is community, that it brings together people from all around the world and stories and abilities to achieve something together, that you can build connections. And safe communities mean more enjoyment and more successful games. So as an example, ADL did a study of people who experienced an incident of harassment in games. And 28% of those people just decided that they were going to avoid any game that had any reputation from harassment after that experience. And 22% of those people just stopped playing certain games altogether. And so it's so critical that we get this right. You know, we think about this, there's 3 things you can do. The first is just setting clear standards and making them visible to everybody. The second is creating tools for people to express their preferences, what type of experience they want, parental controls to protect children, and also tools to report behavior and so actions can be taken. And then the last and really important one is moderation. And this is about human moderation augmented with technology. Having humans involved is always important, right? Because there's nuances, subtleties, context that matter. But that often doesn't scale. As communities and games get bigger and bigger, using AI to help with that is so critical. That's one of the reasons why we're using 2 hats technology, Community Sift. And that actually uses rule-based AI to take intelligent, proactive actions to prevent exposure to abusive behavior and content. You know, when we foster positivity in games, we could actually transform lives for the better. A great example is in 2018, some of our safety team realized that people were reaching out, and they were actually reaching out for problems with real-world problems, not technical issues that they were running into the game, but real emotional things. And so that led us to form a partnership with the Crisis Text Line. And so it was a way that we could actually serve our community in a broader way through the power of what we're doing in gaming. Some of this stuff is best accomplished collectively. A few years ago, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo actually got together to create safer gaming principles, really focused on helping the young and the most vulnerable. Other great examples are EA's Positive Play Charter, Ubisoft's Code of Conduct. And when we really have an opportunity, if we work together, everybody has a role to play in protecting players in an instantaneous, connected world. And in many ways, safety is foundational to everything we do, because you can't have fun if you don't feel safe. You know, when I think about it in sort of an ascending Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when you move to safety, you get to love, you get to belonging, and that's where inclusion really has a role to play. You know, games have a great ability to give you an experience where you can do something that you might not have otherwise ever done in your real life, or you never would have an opportunity to experience yourself. And a great example of that is Tell Me Why. In this story, the characters actually confront their past. They explore their memories as part of the game. And through the character of Tyler, you reveal emotional insights of the experience of being a trans man. The game also features the indigenous Tinglet culture and characters from that culture. Now, what made the experience richer and really important is that the developer worked closely with people from those communities in designing the creation. The representation wasn't just about having an image in the game. It was about meaningful, accurate representation of stories and experiences, so everyone can feel truly seen. We often use the phrase on our team, "Nothing about us without us," to keep in mind the importance of involving communities when you're representing them in games. Another great example is how we make games accessible and playable to people with disabilities. So there's 400 million people around the world who are game players with disabilities today. And so taking opportunities to intentionally include them in the design of the game is enormously powerful. This is a great example of how the Forza team actually added sign language in the game to make it more seamless for people who use sign language. And also adding subtitles. And that's great for enabling people with hearing disabilities, but also for people who are playing in a different language or are trying to pick up a piece of quiet dialogue, or you just want to keep the volume low because the kids and the family are sleeping. In 2019, Ubisoft shared that in Far Cry New Dawn and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, when the subtitles were just on by default, 90% of people left them on. And by the way, that would be me. I never want to miss a word, so I always keep them on. But it's a great example of a feature built for one audience that actually enables many. As an industry, we've made a lot of great progress on welcoming people with different needs and abilities, being open to new ideas, celebrating uniqueness. And that level of realism, we want everyone to experience that and feel that level of realism in the games that they're playing. One of the things that's challenging, but also an incredible opportunity for us, is how we do that while also safeguarding our planet. And that influences everything we do as creators, as publishers, as players. But it's also enormously challenging. Like, it's hard enough to build and operate a game, as many of you know, but designing for things like energy consumption can add a lot of complexity. You know, there's a lot of initiatives that have come together around this. Two great examples is the Playing for Planet Alliance, which really rallies the industry around a set of shared principles. And one of the ones I love is the Green Game Jam, where actually activities and challenges, in-game activations can actually do real-world actions like planting trees. But as creators, there's actually two particular ways that we think creators can lead the way. The first is just around engineering for energy efficiency. It's a broad topic, but it's really focused on how can we be the most efficient in our coding? How do we lower the energy consumed in the process? How do we actually build functionality in games that allow players to proactively choose how much energy they want to use when they're playing and in certain different game states? And how do you also make sure that you're leveraging key sustainability platform features? The second is about engaging and educating players themselves for the nature of the gameplay. The settings, the skins, special events, storylines and game themes, reminders to use your sustainability settings. As creators, we can actually educate and engage players in ways that are fun and additive to the gaming experience, but also help advance our sustainability goals as a society. In many ways now, gaming and technology is completely entrenched in all of our lives, and the lines between our digital and our physical worlds are continually blurring. If we're intentional, if at the outset we actually build for things like safety and inclusion and sustainability, the set of things we can achieve is far greater than when we bolt it on at the end or on the side. And we can have an indelible impact on the future. The stakes are high, but the opportunities for us as a group are also endless. Thank you so much. It was great to see all of you.
And now, please welcome Iron Galaxy Studios co-CEO, Adam Boyes.
Look at this. Look at these beautiful people. You made it here. 9 a.m. call time, you woke up, you got your alarm set, that's fantastic. Congratulations. Welcome, everyone. Making games is fun, right? We're all here because we like to make games or work on technology. It's really fun. And at one point, the slide's going to come up that says it's fun. But that's what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about all kinds of aspects of making games. They're also very hard. I know last night I saw someone at the bar, and they were fixing some submission bugs because their game got bounced from start. Good news, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo are all here, and they're giving out free waivers for lunch. I hear if you go down to the deli area, you can get a free waiver, and your game will, yeah, there we go, cheering. Free waivers for everyone. I can't do that anymore. I used to be able to do that. The other thing that's really hard, though, is making a company. Making companies is hard. You got to figure out LLC, C Corp. Do I need a CFO? Maybe I should have gone to business school, but I didn't because I flunked out of college. But it can be very difficult. And the thing about Iron Galaxy, we've realized making a good company is even harder, right? Because you want to make a good company that's around for a long amount of time. Dave Lang was the founder of our company. 14 years ago, he left Midway, and he started Iron Galaxy Studios. And I remember he called me up and he said, I'm making this new company. He said, I want to make amazing games with my best friends until we retire together. And I said, what are you, like building forts in your backyard with your friends? What is, like, it's not an aspirational thing, but it was a vision, right, that he had to make a new game company. And what Dave didn't even realize at the time, he had basically built the pillars, the game design pillars for what he wanted to build as a company, right? Making amazing games was about quality, right? He wanted to have high quality employees, high quality team members, and make high quality content. He wanted to work with his best friends, right? He wanted to build a culture where everyone felt like they were part of something bigger. And the other part that was really fascinating is until we retired together. You know, he's a little bit older than me, but you know, it wasn't like retirement when he started the company was important. But that was all about stability, right? So what he kind of inadvertently did with one tagline is he kind of built the design and the values of the company. So here we are now, 14 years later. Pretty proud, we're just in middle school, right? I guess we'd be in 10th grade right now, ready to download TikTok and have a good time. We've got our Chicago studio, Orlando, we started 2012, and we just opened up Nashville this year, which is very exciting to be there. We've got 265 incredible employees across all the 3 locations. And so many of you probably wonder, what does Iron Galaxy do? We do 3 types of things. We do a lot of co-development. So we work with different partners all around the planet to make cool stuff come to fruition, help fix bugs. We've been working with Todd Howard's team at Bethesda on many iterations of Skyrim and Fallout. We do ports projects, so we've done a lot of products that we brought to the Switch. We brought Skyrim to Switch, Overwatch, Diablo 3. We also are bringing Uncharted Lost Legacy Collection to PC, coming out tomorrow. You can download it tomorrow on the Epic Games Store, so please check it out. It's been amazing and a dream to work with Naughty Dog. And the final one is we also make original games like Rumbleverse. Oh, Cam, there we go. It's still there. Rumbleverse, Dive Kick, stuff like that. So those are the 3 areas that Iron Galaxy does. Now, when you think about Dave's original vision for making amazing games with great people until we retire together, we had to sort of level that up over the years, right? So it sort of boiled down to our main values as a company. The first is our people. Every employee that starts at Iron Galaxy, they get onboarded and they get to meet with Dave, myself, and Chelsea separately. It's awesome. We get to meet and get to know them a bit. Our partners. We work with so many incredible publishers and developers all around the world. That's an important part of our company value. We want to make sure everyone feels valued as a partner. Continuous improvement. Failing fast, getting better, learning from all the different engines we get to work on, and also expanding our capabilities. But all this stuff feeds into our core tree trunk of our value, which is stability, right? And so how does that manifest itself in day-to-day? First of all, it's all about grabbing a shovel. Everyone in our galaxy, I don't care what role you are, but helping people out, right? You see a problem, see someone in need, grab a shovel, help them out. We want people to raise a flag, so if they see something that's happening, we have this incredible technology layer called 15.5, and people basically check in every single week of how they're doing. They put in their one-on-one notes. It's amazing because we get this awesome sort of synopsis every single week of all the different stuff that's happened across the organization. And it's amazing to see. It's fire prevention versus firefighting. We ask everyone in our galaxy to just give us your best 40. We want you to have dinner with your family. We want you to be able to have vacations and go on weekend trips. Super, super important to us. And what's even more important is we're all for one. So everyone in our galaxy plays a critical role on our success. So it's why for Rumbleverse, when you look at the credits list, it's a massive alphabetized list of every employee at the company. Not people that worked on the game, it's everyone that works at the company. Because in some way, shape, or form, they contributed to the project. No titles, just a massive list of incredible people. And we like to use the dragon boat analogy. Everyone's rowing in synchronicity to make something better. Now, one of the challenges the planet faced over the past few years is we had this horrible thing happen called COVID. And one of the things it did is it stole context from a workplace. So when you have a rich culture as a company, it's very difficult when that gets stolen from you. You sort of have to pivot very quickly. So the first thing we did is we sent out these notes to all of our employees, and we put together little care packages, and we put together a little pasta dinner and a little movie night snack. This is my son Parker trying to steal the candies. Not allowed, Parker. No, sir. But what it did is actually inspired a lot of people. People started doing cooking streams at home and showing that off sort of privately within the company. So Dave Lang did this awesome Philly cheesesteak live stream, and that inspired other people. Michael Metz, our audio director, he did this whole produced video where he cooked home pasta. And it actually inspired because we realized that food and that experience was about self-expression and bringing us back together. So it inspired us to actually build a cookbook. And like anything in video games, when you crowdsource the title of a cookbook and let anyone choose anything, it's a cookbook. That's what won. It's the Bodie McBoatface of Iron Galaxy. But it was cool because everyone's able to submit their own recipes, tell their backstory, where it came from, how difficult it was. It's really neat. Turns out making a cookbook is almost as hard as making a video game. Here is my Canadian Nanaimo bar recipe. I'd highly recommend it if you've never had it. It's fantastic. What we also did then, we needed a place for people to be able to make their meals. And because Iron Galaxy is named so aptly, we built these cast iron pans. We found this incredible blacksmith up in Wisconsin, and she ended up doing all these awesome castings for us, and we sent them out to all of our employees so they could make their own food at home too. Tried other things, like many studios did, to make it a fun and engaging time, right? We did pet pageants. We did Halloween costumes, Erica, with this undead mermaid's pretty cool. Pumpkin carving contests. We did drag queen bingo. We had Harry Mack come and do a 2-hour live performance where he freestyled of all kinds of people pulling up their different things all around their office space. It was amazing. Trying to make it feel a little bit different. But the reality of it is, as a planet, we all had to get used to this whole boxes on screen world. It was super, super difficult, right? There's a lot of challenges we face. You're not going to put up your hand and ask someone for help when you're on a screen, or you have to hit them up on Slack or Teams and be like, I need help on something. It just doesn't happen, right? When you're walking by someone or you have lunch, a lot of us brought our anger home. We were already at home. We brought it to our spouses. That's frustrating, right? It just doesn't ring true. And what's even more difficult is we had built a game concept. We were down, and I remember pitching Chelsea this horrible idea for the super gory multiplayer game where you rip people in half, there's blood and guts everywhere. Would look great on Unreal 5.1, by the way. Looked fantastic. But anyway, well, pitching this idea, and she's like, Dave, our founder, goes, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. And Chelsea takes a little sip of her gin and tonic, said, we should do wrestling. And that was the inspiration for Rumbleverse. We started jamming that night for 5 hours. So we started building a prototype. But then it came time for us to go on a pitch. We had all of this travel built all around to go to a bunch of publishers. That was the original name of the game. It's called WrestleWorld. But we had all this travel that we were going to go and pitch the game in person. And when COVID hit, we had to pivot completely, right? How do you demo a game online? How do you demo a BR game online? So we were like, let's eventize it. We sent these golden tickets to all the different publishers we were going to pitch. And we're like, come to this Discord server. We're going to show you a good time. Then what we did is we sent all these backstage passes so they'd come and join us for the demo. And we met with the usual suspects. We met with many different partners all around the planet. But what was really important for us is to find the right fit for us. We wanted somebody with great experience, a huge passion for not only the concept, but for us as a studio. We wanted great ideas, big ideas. We wanted them to understand our culture. We wanted them to be a cultural alignment, right? We're kind of a unique studio. We wanted them to have reach and influence. We wanted them to be able to advocate for our game and for our company. And so we signed the partnership with Epic Games Publishing. It's been a fantastic journey. They've been incredible advocates. Think about it. How many times does a studio get to launch a brand new free-to-play game and have a publisher back them completely with all the weight? And with that came a lot of incredible support from the Fortnite team, the Fall Guys team, all the tech side of things. We have full access to all the different publishing aspects and services, which has been amazing, right? And so we're able to release Rumbleverse 2 months ago. Pretty excited about it. It's doing quite well out there. But one of the things when the game came out, we sort of started reflecting on it. We realized that we had built a game that had its own design pillars, but a lot of those pillars reflected exactly who we were as a studio. So when we sort of look at that, the first thing we want to do is bring joy back to multiplayer. Just fun, goofy, good times, right? That was really, really important. And with that, we found that when you're throwing around these big, goofy ideas, it brought joy back to our game development process, right? We were able to jam on big ideas, big, goofy ideas. The dumber, the better, right? I remember one of our first sort of sell sheets was like, I want to elbow drop someone off a 40-story building. And no one in the room was like, that's a stupid idea, right? It was all about how do we make it cooler and better? How do we add goofier things? That was super important. One of the other early pillars that we hit on too, which was super important, was to make the game really, really fun to watch bad players, right? How many times have you watched a stream of a streamer on a new game and they're not that good yet, and you're like, meh, not very interesting? We wanted to build an engine with Rumbleverse that no matter how good or how bad you were, it was still fun to watch. And it's the only game that I play right now where I just get my ass handed to me, and I'm like, ha ha ha, they javelin tacked me into the water again. Next match, please. On top of that, though, it also was fun to fix bad mistakes. When mistakes are not a big mystery and they're just happening in front of you, and you have a team of people that want to make a better experience for players, it's sort of very natural, right? You just kind of fix it together. One of the big early bugs that we found is that you could rip stop signs out of the ground in Rumbleverse, and if you did a double bounce attack off these bounce pads and you hit down on the ground, it basically destroyed an entire city block. And so you would just see 9 bodies laying about. And so, you know, the funniest thing is this is what happens. This is how I think. I see somebody tweet about it. I said, we need to fix that. And I go, but first, I'm going to try that. So I went online and I murdered a lot of city blocks, I got to be honest. Before, I was like, we should probably look into this problem. Felt pretty good for a couple minutes, right? But when everyone in the team is sort of committed to that mission, it's very, very important. We know also as a games as a service product, as a free-to-play game, it's going to grow and evolve over time. Right? We just did our 1.5 season patch. We added golf clubs. Now we have this cool golfing meter. We have a key bat. You can float around the world. A bunch of different move sets and stuff like that. And the game's going to evolve over time, right? Season 1 to Season 2 and beyond. A lot of new stuff up our sleeves. It's kind of funny when people like have an idea for the game. We're like, let's add it to the document of 8,000 other cool ideas for this game that we're building. But on top of that, we realize we're trying to evolve and grow our team members as well, right? The people at Iron Galaxy. So many years ago, we actually realized that a lot of people didn't feel heard at the company as far as their career development goes. And so we built a career management team that checks in with every employee twice a year. They talk to them about what their career aspirations are. We have a lot of people that'll try internships in other departments and move. And so we have people dedicated to sort of their career management, which is very, very important to increase, people's productivity and happiness. And then the other thing that was super important to us is just create a goofy, dumbass, fun game that's bright, inclusive, right? Finally, a chubby guy in a video game. Let's go, right? Well overdue. But we also want everyone here that's come to the conference is when you go out and build stuff, we want you to build to fulfill your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, and hopefully you can build a better place for game developers and gamers of the future. Thank you very much.
Please welcome Epic's Director of Communications for Technology, Dana Cowley.
Hello. It is so great to see everyone here. Well, we hope you are as excited about the future of entertainment as we are. Here at Unreal Fest, we have so many awesome speakers, as you can see here, and we couldn't be more excited for them to share their knowledge and their stories with you. And to our speakers, we thank you so very much. And with over 130 sessions at Unreal Fest, there are so many ways to engage with each other. So I'm just going to give you a few highlights for this week. So we heard from Adam at Iron Galaxy, and I absolutely love everything that he had to share about their team's journey and making Rumbleverse. And today we have an awesome technical deep dive if you'd like to check that out. Their graphics engineer, John Moore, is going to talk about optimizing the game for 50 FPS and so much more. So check that out if you're interested. And it's obvious by now that virtual production is a game changer for the way that we make movies and films and TV shows, and everyone is talking about, it seems like they're talking about House of the Dragon these days. So if you'd like to learn more about bringing impossible locations to fans using in-camera VFX, I encourage you to check out the session today that's happening at 4:30. Emmy Award-winning producer and director Greg Yatanis and virtual production supervisor Ryan Began will be talking about how they have worked to bring all of these iconic locations to the volume. And just as filmmaking is becoming more interactive, so is the way that we build and drive cars. And we're thrilled that the team from Ford is here to share more about their next-gen HMI plans for the newly revealed Ford Mustang. I think that's happening tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And Ford, along with our friends from BMW and Porsche, will be talking about all sorts of exciting opportunities for the future in their respective sessions. Community is at the heart of Unreal Fest, and now's a great time to remind you that earlier this year we launched the Epic Dev Community. It's a thriving resource, a hub for learning and connecting with others, and please do check that out if you haven't yet. In fact, our Unreal Engine evangelists and community team members are here to support you. Some are here at Unreal Fest, and others are on the Unreal Engine 5 World Tour that is coming to 20 cities, and that's also happening right now. So again, we hope you have a great week. Thank you.
Please welcome back Nathan Thomas.
Thanks, Dana. There's a lot going on. It's going to be a great few days. So, as I said, this is really an incredible melting pot of people and ideas. We're really many industries, but one big community focused on the same idea around 3D real-time interactive experiences in Unreal Engine. I think the cross connections here are really going to increase the value of the types of ideas you're building and working on today. You're driving the innovation that will be the catalyst for the future experiences we all have. I'm optimistic that we look back in 10 years at projects we're working on and realize that some of those originated here and some of those ideas came out of this forum that we're in today. Of course, there's a lot of incredible things you've all been doing already. Let's take a quick look. Great work, everyone. Our mission is to provide you with the tools, content, services, and ecosystem to create without limits and to find success on your terms. We're honored to support you in that endeavor. Take it all in, get to know each other, think big, and let's push the boundaries together. Unreal Fest 2022 is now open.